more interest than ever before. But you can't find resonance with her if you're thinking about her as she was before she left behind all of her resistance, you see.
I was in Glasgow, Scotland this summer, and it was just a short time after she passed away. And she was there in the room with me.
Yeah, she's watching for moments when you're not offering resistance.
It's very interesting because in my dream, the first time after she passed, I was driving, it was like a sort of a waking dream, kind of a lucid dream. And I drove up to the house where we lived. She died at 96, but she was in her 40s at this time. And I drove into the driveway and I went to open the door, and there was a screen door there that had never been there, and I couldn't get the screen door open, and my mother just opened the door this way, and I just looked at her. And
because a screen door represents the resistance that you're accustomed to seeing in your physical form.
She opened it inward too, by the way. She opened it in. And I said to her, you can't be here, you can't be here, you're dead, you're dead. And as I said those words, she faded away.
Your ability to see her changed.
And she became old, and her arms went from a 40-year-old woman to a 96-year-old.
Yeah, well, she would like you to cut that out.
And yeah, I did. I mean, I talked to Louise Hay about that, a dear friend, both of ours, and she said the next time, she said the reason that she couldn't stay there with you.
It's not that she couldn't stay there, it's that couldn't see her. It is your human inability to perceive, not the absence of source.
So the concept of death to her...
There is no death.
Right.
There's only life and more life. And now the concept of death equals clarity and eagerness and fun and fullness and sureness and certainty and worthiness and passion and eagerness and interest in what you're about.
So
more so than ever before. She had no idea how good you are. She loved you unconditionally.
I feel her now.
But not like that. Yeah, she's all over the place, isn't she?
Yeah.
You seen any auras? You can see auras, yeah. She's floating around here, yeah.
And I think since I got the mic and I get to talk to you, I think about my own experience as a young boy. I spent the first 10 years of my life in a series of foster homes and orphanage and so on. And my father was a man who just walked away. Spent some time in jail. I mean, he was a very abusive man. He left my mother with 3 boys at the age of 4 and just disappeared. Long story. I mean,
just the way you planned it, the trajectory you wanted, because you are a freedom seeker to the core of your being. You didn't want anybody bossing you around.
Yeah, I've often said that when a little kid says, "You're not the boss of me," my kids, I've heard them say it many, many times. "You're not the boss of me." I'd always say that's not a bratty little kid. That's someone saying, you know, I'm
autonomous. Yeah. I've come with great reason. I have guidance from source. Yeah. I'll tune into who I am.
So I never met my father. I grew up with rage in my heart towards this man who could walk away and just never look back and never pay any support and never even ask a question about his 3 boys or anything. I was the youngest, and
he did his part. He gave you an avenue into physical. Most parents mess it up far further than that.
Did I choose him to be my father?
Deliberately.
Because if you were to ask me, or if I were to tell you, the most significant moment in my life was in 1974, when I was 34 years old, and I was at his grave in Biloxi, Mississippi, and before that I was drinking and I was overweight and my life was out of control. I was writing. I'd written some textbooks, but the kind of writing I really wanted to do, I just couldn't get it. It just wouldn't come. I was not taking good care of myself. Pardon?
You were too mad.
Yeah, I was filled with rage. I mean, I would wake up in dreams and I'd just be screaming and I'd be fighting him and I'd be sweating. And this was almost a nightly occurrence. I went to his grave And I really went there to do something on his grave. That wasn't a kindly thing. But for the 2 hours or so that I was there, it was the 30th of August, 1974. I went back to the car to drive back to New Orleans, to drive back to New York. I was teaching, I was a professor at St. John's University in New York, and something called me back. Now, I don't know what it was, but it was
How
just...
far down the road were you when you left?
How far down?
After you left?
After I left his grave?
Yeah.
I didn't even get, I only got to the car. I was in the car, and something said, go back to the grave. And I went back to his grave, and I was sobbing, and I forgave my father. I said, from this moment on, I send you what's on my shirt here. I send you love. I send, you know, and I did a film about him, called him my greatest teacher.
So in one of these parts, in this part here, basically what Dr. Wayne Dyer is pretty much saying is that, like, you know, he had so much anger with his dad till he couldn't actually, or nothing in his life would kind of go right until he actually forgave his dad for doing whatever that he done to him in the past. And the thing behind that is that if you're holding on to any kind of guilt, anger, or any of those kind of negative emotion, it stops you from moving forward. So that's one of the good things that you should know, is that, you know, it's not good to hold any kind of anger or any kind of anger or any kind of guilt, any of those kind of negative emotions towards anybody, because you're thinking that, you know, that's holding them back, and that's not actually holding them back. You're holding yourself back by just holding on to all that anger. It's just not good for you. It's just a lot of built up and a lot of resistance that's stopping you from moving forward. So that's basically what he's talking about, that after he actually made peace with his dad and forgave his dad and so on, then he actually start to see himself, you know, be more prosper in life. So that's one of the things that, you know, you got to realize, that when you actually thinking you are holding something against somebody, or you're not talking, you know, with somebody, or you're holding something against them, and you don't feel, you know, that you should be talking to them, or whatever the case may be. But it's not good to hold any kind of anger, basically what he's saying, towards nobody, because it actually stops you in life, and you don't want that. So yeah.